Harnessing the power of storytelling to carve out niche markets, Mannat Ghumman Faruqui exemplifies how creativity fuels entrepreneurship. As the co-founder of Bombae Bling Jewels and a seasoned content creator, she seamlessly blends artistry with business acumen. Mannat's diverse career spanning roles from a scriptwriter to a first assistant director and now an entrepreneur showcases her ability to captivate and engage audiences not just on screen but in the competitive world of jewelry. In today's conversation, let's know more about Mannat's journey and her brand, Bombae Bling. Welcome, Mannat, to Beyond Her Story. Such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Sneha. I'm so glad when you reached out and spoke to me about this. This was going to be, I was really looking forward to doing this. So I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, and you have such an interesting journey. So maybe we can start with that question itself. You've been a content creator first, and then you transitioned into direction, and now you've co-founded Bombae Bling. So how has this journey been, and what is it that actually inspired you to start Bombae Bling?
So, there's so much stuff I think involved in so many life experiences and understanding that probably brought me here to this space. So I always believe in learning new things and adapting and moving along with life. And I think that's so important, especially in this rapidly changing world. So you'll see that, in my life as well, in my career choices as well. So while content creation has always been my mainstay, my main focus of interest, it's pretty much been the backbone of my career, whether I was working as an assistant director, when I was creating, shooting and editing material for my YouTube parenting channel, which was also spurred by the birth of my daughter. And is a collaboration between me and another mum friend, as we both had our daughters at the same time. There was a lateral interest developing in this e-commerce sector, which was growing rapidly in India and still is, and particularly the jewelry sector. So my husband comes from a jewelry background. So we actually both met in production. He was an AD as well, and then his family has a long jewelry business background. So we would always discuss that, because eventually that also holds our interest, and we felt there was a huge gap in the contemporary demi-fine silver jewelry market in India. Especially in your easy to wear, lightweight, everyday pieces, things that don't stay locked away in the bank, things that are affordable, accessible to women and men when they want to wear them. So, realistically, even when I would go and look for stuff, I wouldn't find stuff that I liked. And also then you get, which we'll go into later, I'm sure, there's a lot of other options which I didn't want to look at as well. I wanted something precious but affordable. Chalo, and wo mujhe nahi milta tha itna. So these conversations around all of this began around COVID. In fact, we had lots of time. We were locked in at home. We started chatting about a few of these things, and that's, I think, where the genesis of Bombae Bling Jewels began, with me and my husband. And we're both equal. We're both partners in it, and we both bring our strengths to it. It's like we have one daughter. This is our second baby.
Yeah, it's so good to know, actually. And so was it that you stopped being into content creation and then moved to this, or were you doing things parallelly when you started off?
So what happened was, between, I think, me stopping actively being a part of assistant direction, that's when I said that there was this interest in the e-commerce space for me that had begun. So I actually made a bit of a foray into an e-commerce platform as well. There was, they were just starting up. It was, in fact, a last mile food delivery service. So I was interested. I was like, listen, this is something, let me see, dekhte kya hota hai, let me get my hands on it. So I tried that as well for a bit. And soon around that time is when I got pregnant and my daughter was coming around, but I had that experience stacked on. I had this space that I felt that I had gained some knowledge of.
Yeah.
And then, in fact, that little space of understanding how, because that also introduced us more into social media, that understanding of social media, then combined with my content creation, helped my YouTube channel. So, it's just this combination of
Yeah.
things. And now that understanding and social media and all of that is helping with Bombay Bling. So I sort of, I take whatever I can and sort
Understood.
of
Yeah.
build it up and build it up. So yeah, so that interest also developed, and then it was sort of easier for, I guess, for me to adapt and move on to and understand how to handle Bombay Bling too.
Okay. See, one of the main concerns that entrepreneurs have is establishing their brand, right? I mean, when you have so many people out there trying to have their own products, it's not easy, I'm sure. So, were there some challenges that you two had to face to create your brand, and how did you actually overcome them?
Major challenges, and I think every day is still a challenge. There is, it's never ending. I think one major hurdle that we face continuously face also is trying to get people to understand what our brand stands for, what demifying jewelry actually means. Um, Sometimes we get asked stuff like, why is it so expensive and stuff? I mean,
Yeah.
so these kind of things. And because, and I understand, because there's so many options in the market, and, people will obviously, you pick what works for you according to your need, your budget, and everything. So, what we have to, for us, we need to make a distinction, let's say, from costume jewelry, which people tend to club us with. So people
Yeah.
tend to club us with costume jewelry, which is made of inexpensive metals like steel. So that's one challenge we feel. We face this a lot in pop-ups as well, because
Yeah.
in a parallel stall, they'll say, "Ye to 500 ka mil raha hai, aap kyo 2000 ka?" I'm like, and I
Yeah.
never want to run down any other business or any other brand or anything, because everyone's working so hard at doing what
Yeah.
they're doing. So without saying that, oh, I can't say that. So I'll just say, but our product is made of this, and I leave it. I talk about our strengths rather than putting. I never want to do that, So,
Correct.
so then we try and impart as much, let's say, knowledge and education as possible with that
Yeah.
regard. Whether it's meeting, whether it's through our content creation, and India
Correct.
itself is such a vibrant and massive jewelry hub. There is so much amazing creative work in every nukkad that you
Very
see,
true.
people are
Yeah.
doing. And so
Yeah.
we really have to work at carving out our niche, and where, what are we specializing in? What are,
Yeah.
let's say, why should you come to us? For what should you come to us? And to top all of this, we have to figure out how to use and apply social media in a way that is true to our brand. Again, so much information is thrown at us in a constant
Every,
way, right? Every day since
correct.
we wake up in the morning. So now, how do we cut through that clutter? How do we come to you? How do we make our mark? But so every day, like I said, it seems
Every day
like a
is a
challenge.
challenge.
Every day seems like
Understood.
a challenge, but we
Yeah.
welcome them, because that means we are sort of we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone,
Correct.
and that's when you evolve. That's when the real change happens and the
Very
growth
true. Very
happens.
true. Yeah, that's true. And I mean, I think you've answered this briefly that, how your content creation has helped you in marketing your jewelry brand. But maybe you can just add a bit to how did you leverage this content creation uh, to build your brand?
So I mean, I'll be realistic with you. This social media is a different animal altogether. It's like, and it's it's I sometimes
Yeah.
feel I'm old for it. I feel like, and I'm like, well, I'm 40. Like, I'm not old. Yeah, 40 is like the new 20 and stuff. But in
Yeah.
terms of this digital age, I feel sometimes there's so much happening, and I think the younger you are, the more adept you are at picking up things and handling them. So I guess it's keeping us young. We're trying to be like, "Acha kya ho raha hai? Figure it out, chalo karo." But we use our digital avenues the best way we can, in storytelling.
Yeah.
In reaching out to our customers via that. Our content contains information. It contains visuals about our pieces, how to style them, educational videos, like I said, about our jewelry, what is demi-fine jewelry. For instance, we talk about our USPs, what our products are made of. We also offer something like a lifetime buyback, of our jewelry,
Okay.
which we try and push as well. So, endorsing, the plus points of building a relationship with us. So a part of being a part of our lifetime buyback also means we're a sustainable brand. Like, we're attempting to do the right
Yeah.
things and reach out to that audience as well, who it matters to, who believe in that. And also we partner with public figures, with like-minded content creators, your
Correct. For
influencers,
collaborations.
for
Yeah.
collaborations, who hold the same sort of belief as us. We encourage them to speak about not just our jewelry, because obviously we want to show them using it, wearing it, talking about like what it's made of, and but also to sort of build their own story around it, to also create this vibe and feeling around it. Because I mean, that's also the ethos of building a brand. I mean, that's what takes you from selling just a product to creating that brand.
True.
And we take great pride in we design ourselves.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
take great pride in that. We design ourselves. We create stories around. If you've seen, I know you have, our pieces
Yeah.
and our collections. Each piece is literally, we sit, we think, it's like our baby. We name it. We create a
Yeah.
story, this, that. So we want social media also to sort of echo that. So we're trying to do that
Yeah.
as much as possible, and basically let our jewelry pieces all have a story, and we want them to be a part of your story. So
Yeah.
and bring that together. So I think our social media, sometimes I think I've digressed a bit here and there, but essentially that's also what we're trying to build through our social media content.
So, Mannat, it's so good to know that you're marketing your brand actively. But every entrepreneur has a question as to what are the different ways that you can market your brand. So, if you can share some of your marketing strategies, or what do you do to actually do the marketing?
This marketing is the mainstay of any brand building. I remember when we started out, and we would speak to other friends and stuff as well, who, I know people who've started companies, who started something. So, thoda bahut you'll chat to them. And I remember them all saying the same thing. They're like, you can build the product, you can do whatever. But like some people who
Yeah.
come and say 70% is marketing, 70%. I was like, but banane to do, karne denge, 70% is marketing. And you realize that. But how will you sell your product if you don't manage marketing it, and you don't manage getting your message out to your
Correct.
customers? So, and now the thing is that with your, let's say, one of your mainstays of marketing is social media. And
Yeah.
now social media mainly means Instagram and Facebook,
Yeah.
and a little bit of Pinterest. I think, I'm not sure how much India may have, but thoda bahut, like, that interest is there.
Yeah.
So now your that is your reach, because this entire country is on their phones for most of the time. Most of the world is. And
Yeah.
that's where you reach people, and that's where you access them. So yeah, marketing mainly for us, because also we're an e-commerce brand, has to be
Yeah.
mainly through social media, or through our, through, let's say, our online space on digital marketing. So Instagram and Facebook obviously is one thing. Performance
Yeah.
marketing is a no-brainer. Anybody
Yeah.
asks me, you have to get into it. And you have to wait. You have to have patience with all these things. It is not going to happen overnight. It may
Yeah.
not even happen in a month. It's about being patient and waiting. The other thing we tack on is we do pop-ups, because like like we were discussing before as well. We want to meet and have conversations with people. They like having they like seeing the jewelry, that little touch and feel, getting them to try it on. So pop-ups are, I think, sometimes even less about actually like selling, though we do make sales and we like making, obviously everybody does, but also like engaging with people one-on-one.
Correct.
We take a lot of feedback. We take a lot of,
Yeah.
which is very important for us as well. So that is like a two-way street. So that I feel is important. So as an e-commerce space, that is mainly where we are going. And obviously then our collaborations with influencers, or if we get there are stylists. We also, something that we really enjoy doing is we collaborate with other brands.
Oh,
So
nice.
if someone's doing a photo shoot for, let's say they're doing clothing and they want to use our pieces, we're very happy to engage in it. And these are upcoming really great homegrown brands which really match
Awesome.
our ethos. So that is something I really enjoy doing. I've met so many lovely founders, who are so devoted to what they're doing and believe in it so much and like us. So it's a nice matching of minds. So that feels really good. So in our marketing space, I think it's that we also try and work on uh, pushing ourselves for gifting, which is major as well during festivals, during weddings. People
Yeah.
love giving that precious piece of jewelry and stuff. So we do a lot of gifting as well, in that regard.
Okay.
So yeah. But again, like I said, we're always, next month you ask me, probably, hopefully we're doing something else, because again, with marketing also, you're always trying to find the new next best thing. How do you make that mark? How do you rise above everything else in terms of getting heard by people and getting
Yeah.
recognized?
Yeah. So, Mannat, I think you mentioned quite a lot of strategies that you use. One thing that I found very fascinating is cross collaboration. I think that plays a very important role. Like a lot of people don't understand, they feel it's competition and you shouldn't go and all that. But I think cross collaboration actually works. So, that's a very good strategy, I would say, that you are doing. And second thing, which you spoke about, what I feel is the need of the day is the patience part of it, right? Because people think, you post it on Instagram and you'll get the sales, because a lot of people misconvey rather, that, आपको करोड़ों कमाने हैं, product लीजिए, ये होगा, वो होगा. And maybe it's worked out for few people, but it's not easy and we know how it works. So thank you for bringing those points out. And yeah, now let's go to what are the plans you have for Bombay Bling in future, and how do you plan to evolve this brand in the coming years?
So, like I said, like we were discussing before, the jewelry industry in India though is ever growing, and
Yeah.
there's so many exciting things happening all the time. And here is, we're also a bit like the cradle of jewelry. Like every nukkad will have something somewhere. It's amazing. It's such an exciting space to be. And we always intended, like for Bombay Bling Jewels, for instance, as a brand, we always intended as a brand to stay with you forever. So we have pieces that will vibe, let's say, for you when you're 20 years old. We've had customers who bought stuff for even like 10-year-olds, like, because
Mm.
for instance, like we have these butterfly studs. And when we were at a pop-up, this little girl fell in love with them. And so she would not let her mom leave. And she's like, I want. So I was so interesting for us to see that we're even vibing with a 10, 11-year-old. So that is
Yeah.
a decision my husband and I took when we started. We're like, acha, kiske liye bana rahe? We're like, sabke liye banana hai. So we sort of have that, range for it's. Even I know men very happily are wearing our stuff, which is what we wanted. Women are
Yeah.
wearing it, girls are wearing it. So it's beautiful. So this is a brand that we feel will stay with you, like I said, forever. With your 10-year-old, 20-year-old, as you grow older, we have pieces for 40-year-old, 50-year-olds. They evolve, the pieces evolve with you, and the brand is here to stay with you for life. So that is what I feel our journey with you will be. And we're always looking to add more things in our collections. We're keeping our eye on trends as well. But our pieces all have a bit of a classic style that accompanies. They're
Okay.
not, there are things that you'll find they're repeatable, in one way.
Yeah.
That's also, when someone says it's expensive, I would say that's also how you get your money's worth. You're not going to wear it just one time. You're going to wear it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are so versatile. You'll wear them with so many different outfits. So
Okay.
that is one space. Another place we want to go, which we are crossing our fingers, we do sometime, is a brick and mortar store. Right
Yeah.
now, we're primarily online, but that is a place we'd like to explore, and crossing our fingers we do that sometime soon, hopefully. Patience is key to everything, which I
Yeah.
will remind myself all the time.
Yeah.
And so that's basically where we see ourselves going.
Yeah, so all the best to you, Mannat, and your brand, Bombae Bling. I'm sure it'll go places. I've seen your Instagram page too, and you have beautiful pieces. So all the
Thank
best.
you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sneha.
So before we go, based on your experience, is there something that you would like to tell women who want to start on this journey of entrepreneurship? Because there are a lot of women who have a lot of skills and they are ready to take that step to go into entrepreneurship. So based on your experience, what would you like to share with them?
So I think one of the first things which I also sort of mentioned in the beginning, which sort of defines how I've made my choices, is that you should be open to embracing new things, taking on challenges, and constantly be ready to learn. I believe
Yeah,
life is like it's a lifelong journey of learning, that you should never stop
very
learning.
true. Very true.
Um, Starting a business is one of the most invigorating feelings. Also, extremely daunting. But, like, do your research, take each day in your stride, set your goals out. The internet comes with like a huge, vast amount of information. So, learn how to cut through that clutter and take what you need, filter out what you don't. Um, don't hesitate to ask for help ever.
Yeah,
It could be on a forum online, it could be a friend uh, next to you, it could be a mentor that you have. Reach out. No question is too small or unimportant. So ask your questions. Okay, it's okay. You will get some answer, you will get some route, or some kind of clarity. Um, and on top of all of this is like very important. That's there, but you yourself are so important. You need to take out time for yourself, for your self care. You need to be able to shut down. You need to be able to take two steps back. Like and take an outside looking in. You need to be a friend to yourself.
yeah,
Like applaud yourself, encourage yourself, and appreciate yourself as well. So, like even like some, and I have to remind myself as well to do these things, whatever I can, to do these things many times. And
yeah.
so even if you lose yourself along the way, hold your hand and get yourself back. And things work out.
I think that's wonderful, wonderful tips and advice, Mannat. Because, like you said, I think the other things, a lot of people tell you that you have to do this, set your goals, and do this. But I think the part about the self care that you spoke about is so much important, especially in today's world,
Yeah.
when you get, you watch these social media reels and whatnot, and you feel whether you're doing enough, and then in that you forget yourself, like you rightly said. So I think that's really very well put. And
Yes.
thank you for sharing your journey and sharing the journey of Bombae Bling. It was awesome, amazing to have you here. I learned a lot about you, though we had spoken before. There were still
Yeah.
few things which I didn't know about, and I came to know about it now. So, there are a lot of learnings in these conversations, and that is what I cherish when I speak to women like you. So, thank you for being a part of Wonder Woman Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Sneha. Like I said at the onset, I'm so glad we had this conversation, and I'm so glad it happened. And talking to you, like I said, every time you learn something. Talking to you, I feel I've imbibed and understood so much as well. So I've thoroughly enjoyed. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and it was so lovely meeting you and speaking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Manu.
Thank you.